Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. It's going to be a Terran versus Zerg on the map Dreamcatcher, and I'm really excited for this one. And the reason for it is that it's basically going to be the dream as far as foreign TvZ goes. So who we've got here spawning down the bottom right hand side of the map, playing for Team Talon's Lions, it is Scarlett. And her opponent spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, playing for Team Liquid, it is uThermal. So what we've got is a awesome TvZ. However, if you guys notice those blue dots moving out on the map, it's going to be a little bit of a sneaky or tricky or just downright dirty opening coming out of uThermal, as he's going to be going for that double proxy barracks. You guys may think that this is out of the meta. However, this replay was pre-BlizzCon, so you never know with how proxies went down there. But yeah, so this is going to be an interesting match here. I mean, we've got double proxy barracks coming out of uThermal versus someone like Scarlett, and the question is, how is she going to deal with it? For now, I mean, she is delaying her spawning pool a fair bit, just getting up the gas pool, got out the extra drone or two before she built it. So I mean, this is kind of the latest spawning pool you can get in TvZ, or you usually get. So this Proxy 2 Rex could get some damage done from uThermal. We'll just have to wait and see how it's going to go. Now, Scarlett does have her hatchery on the way. Her Overlord going to be crossing the map, but I mean, it's a slow Overlord, guys, so it's going to take a long time before it gets there. Now, that Overlord does see the SCV of uThermal taking the odd path, and that could be the only tell Scarlett needs. She's actually brought 2 drones down, so she really did sniff this out. So now these 2 drones are going to chase these SCVs away. However, there's going to be a Marine, so those drones are going to have to turn. And we'll see. I imagine she's going to pull more drones, and that is the choice. She's going to start a spine crawler immediately, interestingly enough. And I mean, if these drones can force these Marines back far enough, so this is a really interesting way. I mean, uThermal's barracks are a ways away, and these drones are actually trying to catch that. However, I mean, they're far away from home here, so you know, they are going to have to run away. 2 of the drones get picked off there. However, the question is, did they buy enough time for the spine crawler to get up? And it looks like they did. Now, uThermal denied a fair bit of mining time. However, with these lings up, they just have to buy just another second or 2, and then uThermal is not going to be able to break this spine crawler, if I had to guess. It looks like he may be trying to start a bunker on the low ground or anything, but when there's a spine up for the Zerg player, it really is a futile attempt for the Terran to push in. Spines are just so good at shutting down low numbers of Marines, so this 2 SCVs going to get picked off. Those lings going to chase down that last Marine there. And so now uThermal, I mean, he's got a few more Marines out, but this has been a failed Proxy 2 barracks. There's no doubt about it. He's starting his command center now in his main base, but that's late. There's already lings working away in his factory. That poor SCV pops out on the wrong side, so uThermal is going to be starting a factory right now. But his 2 barracks, one of them is going to float over the Zerg main, see exactly what's going on. But this is going pretty well for Scarlett. There's no doubt about that right now. I mean, uThermal, he's got a clump of Marines out right now, but they're not going to be able to get too much done right now. I mean, just with this spine here, it just says nope, no Marines getting in here. As spine's pretty good. That Queen overextending a little bit, can't engage into those Marines. I don't think Scarlett expected there to be 5 Marines still hanging out on her doorstep, but there is. And now, I mean, she's just content to drone up for now. This barracks hanging around, well, I guess just slowly flying around. Just, you know, the casual barracks flying over the Zerg base. Queen gonna start shooting that down. Now, lings are going to be out on the map for Scarlett. She's got a few, but they don't have speed yet, and there's not enough to take on all these Marines for uThermal. And meanwhile, as this is going on, uThermal, he's getting up his natural base. He's going to be able to start producing Hellions, and he's actually going for a starport, so he may be going for a Hellion drop right now, or maybe he'll throw up an armory or something like that and use his handful of Marines if they're still alive. Okay, scratch that. The Marines are not still alive. Those lings must have killed them off while I wasn't observing. But yeah, so uThermal, I mean, he really does just have this one Hellion, and those lings going to get in a good depot raise in time, but I mean, he's got to wait for a few Hellions before he can secure his natural base. These 3 Hellions are going to pop on down. They're going to have to engage these lings and get out, force them off that location. Now uThermal, he does have a starport on the way, and that can be good for Harassment. The scouting barracks does go down, and we'll see what Scarlett's going to go for behind this. Scarlett did go for a lair, and uThermal saw this. So, I mean, since it's Scarlett, if I had to guess, it's definitely going to be 2-base Muta. I mean, no crazy Nidus or anything like that, I don't think. So, a 2-base Muta following us up. I mean, Mutas, when the Terran has very limited anti-air, they're very good. Now, uThermal is going to try and get some damage done here. However, Scarlett really getting ready for this. Queen's coming into position. Ling's already pulling back. A Spore Crawler started. So, she's in a very good spot defensively. Now the Liberator coming on in. The Queens have been pulled out of position, so there's a chance the Liberator could find some damage. Some more Hellions moving across the map. I mean, this is going to be a lot of Hellions, and uThermal may be planning to go for the ultimate fake out here as he's grouping his Hellions out up at the front. The Medivac going to boost on to the right side. We'll see if Scarlett reacts. The Lings are coming on into the main base, but it's actually a big old fake right now. The Hellions are going to roll on into the natural, and drones are going to be on trouble. Scarlett's going to know that she was bamboozled right now. Meanwhile, the Liberator getting set up. This Queen's going to have to get out of that zone, but drones are starting to die, so uThermal, after this 2 racks, I mean, he's finding some damage done with the follow-up. 9 drones have gone down so far. That Liberator's going to unsiege and get out of there safely for now. And so, yeah, 9 drones died to this, so uThermal getting some good damage done. Now, if Scarlett was, say, a normal Zerg macroing up, she'd have had the much quicker 3rd base. She'd probably have built some more drones, but she did invest in this 2-base Spire. I mean, she's got a 3rd now, but it definitely was like a 2-base Spire play, so she's going to have to get something done with her Mutalisk right now. Meanwhile, uThermal realizes this, realizes how much damage he got done, and did he see the Spire? Where's the Spire? We need to see that Spire. Hold on, give me a second. There's the Spire. Okay, I was looking right at it, but uThermal definitely did see that Spire. But Scarlett, I mean, she's got to try and get something done right now. There's a command center going up for uThermal, so he's going into that 3 bases. And the reason for that, he's going to be pretty comfortable, is he realizes the Zerg player that Scarlett did delay like everything else. She did commit to these mutas. I mean, Scarlett's a very good Mutalisk player, but she's going to have to get something done with these, and we'll see if she's able to. uThermal's Medivac's heading on home, but uThermal, I mean, he's going to know that he's in a pretty decent economic situation, since Scarlett did cut the units in order to get these mutas. Now, this tank going to be a little bit exposed. Some missile turret going to be getting on up. A few Marines are going to come on in. Now, Scarlett is basically the Mutalisk player. If you think of someone who's very good with Mutalisks, it's pretty much Scarlett. So she's going to shark around with these, see what she can get. There's going to be missile turrets up for uThermal. In a higher number, Mutalisk are very good. However, uThermal already teching into a Thor, which is something I really like to see. I mean, Thors just say, get out of here, Mutalisk. This isn't on the new patch, so they're still just as effective as they used to be. But, yeah, now uThermal is getting up as 1-1, whereas Scarlett, she's just teching into Roaches from the Seam of things. Those are going to be her safety unit, just Mutas and Roaches. But she's still not in a great spot, because uThermal, he's now got Stim off as the Terran. That damage he did just with that follow-up attack was so much for someone who started with a failed proxy, 2 racks. Now, Scarlett, I mean, she's got these mutas. She's going to try and get something done, just harassing, picking off the odd SCV here and there. And I mean, that really can start to rack up. But once that Thor's out, it's going to help out tremendously for uThermal. He's also getting up a tank, knocking down those rocks, more turrets going up, pardon me. And now, yeah, so he's going to be in a pretty comfortable spot. Mutas are at the back of the base for uThermal. This Thor is going to be still hanging out in the main base. He really is the guardian of uThermal's base. He's lost a fair few SCVs, and he's actually losing some to a Ling run by here. Nicely done by Scarlett. Mutalisk not finding too much damage, but those Lings, between those Mutas and Lings, 8 SCVs died. However, the timer's still, I mean, the timer's on. uThermal's going to be wanting to move out for a push pretty soon. As Scarlett, actually a bit of miss micro there with the Mutas, loses a few of them. Now, she's going to be looking for some more damage here. It looks like she's got a good number of Roaches, so her army supply is quite high. She's morphing a lot of Ravagers, so she really is going to be trying to pile the aggression on uThermal. uThermal has this 2-2 on the way. However, when there's Mutalisk out, you generally want things like a lot more Marines, not too many Marauders, and Roaches, they're pretty good versus Marines. uThermal does have his 1-1 done, which will help him out in this fight. However, Scarlett's coming on in right now with a good number of units. uThermal, those depots going to get popped off. He scans to see this army and says, wait a sec, yeah, that is a lot of Roaches. Now a tank is in position, going to help out. However, Scarlett, I mean, still muscling uThermal off this base, coming in with this army. And if we look at the supply right now, Scarlett's at 174, whereas uThermal is only at 117. So he's down in workers, he's down in army supply. Now he is tacking into this strong biocomposition, but Scarlett, with such a smart move coming in with these roaches, just seeing the window, and the uThermal gonna be caught back. I mean, I imagine as long as he has an all-right engagement, these roaches aren't going to be able to break him. However, Scarlett, I mean, she may just go for it anyway, whether she can or can't break uThermal, because she's going to be maxed out and eventually just be fine trading off that supply, whereas uThermal is nowhere near it. 80 supply off maxing out. And Scarlett, she's got all these roaches and ravagers. Some tanks are set up. This bio is going to be stimmed, and I mean, bio with medivac support, not too bad versus roaches, but uThermal realizes the situation he's in, and his marines are not taking the best fight. They stim forward so they can all get that surface area. However, his SCVs have fallen as they've been pulled into the fight. Now some more bio is coming down for him, but uThermal, he lost 12 SCVs. He lost a good chunk of his bio. He scans the army to see it's still there. His 2-2 is going to be done, just not yet. He's moving forward, trying to get anything he can. He's got these medivacs with this high mobility, so that's going to help him out. However, losing those workers is going to cut into his production, but he may just have to go for it. He may just have to try and use his high upgrade advantage here with this 2-2 in order to make something happen. However, Scarlett, keep in mind, she kept a few of her Mutalisks still alive. She lost a few throughout this game. She lost 5 throughout this game, to be exact, but I mean, they can still always get damage done. As a factor uThermal has to worry about. And it looks like uThermal is going to be losing a tank. He's got the 2-2 now, but the question is, does he have enough bio? Scarlett's pushing in towards his third base, and if he loses any more SCVs, it's going to be huge for Scarlett. uThermal's doing his best to kite back and micro this bio. I mean, just shaving off units here and there. However, SCVs are pulled. He's dodging those corrosive biles there. The medivacs are healing rapidly. However, another 10 SCVs go down. He's producing more bio, but Scarlett is producing so many more roaches. 20 roaches were on the production tab there. This bio does, I mean, this army does get cleaned up. That's the power of the 2-2 there for Scarlett, or for uThermal, pardon me. So Scarlett is forced back, but I mean, at what cost, right? uThermal, he's down half the workers of Scarlett. He's got the upgrades still, so maybe he can survive, but he's got to get something done, right? But when you're worried about this constant pressure, you can't counterattack. He needs every unit, including SCVs. So, I mean, in order to make these hold, uThermal has had to make sacrifices, and his situation is just not getting better. Scarlett, she's on a very good economy, while compared to uThermal anyway, she's on a healthy 68 economy, 68 drone economy. She's got her own 2-2 on the way, so that upgrade advantage is going to be nullified. And then Scarlett looking to come in and get some more damage done. She's got all these roaches and ravagers now. uThermal, he's behind 40 supply, which, while bad, it's not that terrible compared to where he's been at in the game. It's pretty much the same. He's always been down a fair bit of supply this game. He's getting up sensor towers, actually a double sensor tower. A bit of a mistake there, and uThermal needs every resource possible. That's actually a pretty big mistake, going for the double sensor tower at this stage in the game. Just a little thing like that. uThermal may be a little bit worried. Now Scarlett's Mutalisk continuously being a pain. They've picked off actually one of the engineering base, and they're getting the second, so really securing that they'll be on equal upgrades for a long time, and Scarlett may just be waiting for that. Her carapace is going to be done in just a second here, or just 8 seconds to be exact, and once that's done, I mean, she can really engage. Her roaches will be so much stronger. The bio, while it's very efficient now, just versus this mass of roaches on equal upgrades, I think Scarlett's going to be able to push through. Here she comes, eating a lot of tank shots for now. uThermal does have the tanks. He's being very proactive with guarding them. These mutas continuously being a pain, though. But Scarlett coming on in, using corrosive biles, trying to dodge the tank shots, but these tanks, they are staying alive for now. uThermal, he's got to be careful, though. Doesn't want to overstim, as his medivacs are running out of energy, and Scarlett's just continuously testing the waters here right now. She's going to corrosive bile, deny mining at that third base. uThermal just not mining at one of his critical bases isn't too good for him, and I mean, this Roach Ravager army is huge. uThermal has 4 tanks right now, so if Scarlett gets fed up and goes for it, maybe it could go his way. The supply count has equaled up. So, I mean, it's not terrible for uThermal, but Scarlett, such a veteran player right now, pulling back with her roaches, knowing that uThermal is on 3 bases. These Mutalisks have continuously been a thorn in the side of uThermal. And then, I mean, Scarlett goes home, but uThermal, he's got this army. I think he's just going to have to make one push and hope that it works. Scarlett's got 12 Ravagers on the way, though. Going to have a healthy army. And we'll see, is uThermal going to be able to get anything done? These mutas as well for Scarlett, just such good control, keeping them alive, picking off anything here and there. It all adds up. Now uThermal, though, the time has come for him to push in. He's got these tanks, and Dreamcatcher is the Terran tank map. There's very good position. He's going to siege up behind these ledges. He's wondering where the Zerg army is right now. And he's coming in. He's going to hit the 4th base. May actually be able to kill it. He's got to be ready to guard these tanks, though. Scarlett, I mean, uThermal's army is pretty strong, and without any support for this, it could be rough for Scarlett. There's all these tanks in position, and Scarlett's just rolling forward right now. So many tanks. She may be underestimating this. uThermal, he's coming in with all this bio, just realizing his chance. These Roaches and Ravagers, they're very squishy compared to this bio. He's focusing down those Ravagers. The numbers are dwindling right now. Is there enough for Scarlett? She really just needs to make this hold. uThermal's coming on forward. His tanks have unsieged to join into the fight. However, all the medivacs have died, and he may just not have too much. The mutas, they're continuously harassing at the 3rd base. uThermal has more bio streaming across the map, and I mean, he may be able to choke out the 4th base of Scarlett, but a lot more Roaches are on the way. These tanks are going to have to get set up immediately. This buffer is coming forward to them. That bio is so critical. It needs to get here. Some Roaches are getting forward right now. 2 of the tanks get picked off. However, uThermal still has these tanks in position. The mutas harassing the 3rd base once again, but uThermal has that small bit of income, but it may be enough to push him forward right now. I mean, Scarlett, the supply, it's not, I mean, it's pretty good for her at this point in the game. uThermal, though, baiting her into these tanks. She's got no choice but to fight, and she may be able to break it. Picks off one of the tanks, the rest of them shelling out a lot of damage, but there's so much Zerg right now. It's looking like it's going to be enough. Scarlett takes it, winning the game on Dreamcatcher. Very well played there. I mean, as far as having us worried, that's what Scarlett definitely did. I mean, yeah, just with uThermal pushing on in there, that was looking rather dicey, but she realized that she managed to get on in there, managed to take a good enough fight. She had just using Roaches versus bio and tanks is very dicey, and uThermal realized that. He said, wait a second, you just still have Roaches and I'm making tanks and bio. I mean, if I get a good enough army, doesn't that mean I just beat you? And it was close. uThermal almost snowballed versus Scarlett, but her good enough economy managed to sort of stabilize her and allow her to come back. And whereas uThermal, he didn't have the support that he needed. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this cast, I feel as if that was a really awesome game. Feel free to leave a like. Otherwise, feel free to subscribe, as I'm always putting out more StarCraft 2 content. But regardless, I shall see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.